And as I approached, I realized that they were actually parasols, and then they would make a sound like a gong.
But as preposterous as some dreams seem, a few may have changed the world.
Dreams have been responsible for 2 Nobel Prizes, the invention of a couple of major drugs, other scientific discoveries, several important political events, and innumerable novels, films, and works of visual art. So they've been very important in our society.
Deirdre Barrett of Harvard explores the power of dreams to give us insights we might never otherwise have.
We can see things much more clearly when we think about them in dreams. And it also helps us think outside the box. Our associations are looser and more intuitive and less linear.
The classic symbol of science, the periodic table of the elements, is said to have come to the Russian chemist Dmitry Mendeleev during a dream. In 1844, American inventor Elias Howe was trying to design his first sewing machine, but he couldn't work out how to make it hold the needle. One night he dreamed of being attacked by cannibals with spears.
And as he woke up in terror, the last thing he saw was that all of their spears had the hole at the pointed tip of the spear, and he realized that's where you put the hole in a sewing machine needle.
And the story goes that Dr. Frankenstein and his monster were dreamed up by Mary Shelley. Or were they? Not everyone agrees.
Many of the claims about great discoveries during dreams are very hard to document. But what we always have to remember is these people were intensely thinking about these issues. So there may have been some discoveries based on reflecting on dreams. But that is waking consciousness reflecting on the dream.
But even if famous creators achieved their breakthroughs after waking, dreams can still claim some of the credit, according to sleep researcher Sarah Mednick.
What stage do you think this is? Looks like stage 2. Right? Because there is sleep schedule.
In a recent experiment, she recruited volunteers to play a series of word games that demand creative leaps.
We define creativity as putting together disparate ideas in new and useful combinations. So what we have is 3 different words, and we have people trying to find a 4th word that goes with those words. And so what they have to do is find a new connection that's not their direct associate, but a more remote associate.
Before playing, volunteers like Tristan are shown examples.
Try these next 2. Surprise, wine, birthday.
Present?
No, very close. The answer is party. So surprise party, party line, birthday party.
After the game, Tristan's next assignment is to nap. Mednick monitors his sleep cycles and eye movements. 60 minutes later, he appears to be entering REM sleep.
So here we have a lot of rapid eye movements. You can see this is indicating he's probably having a dream right now, and we can even see...
Only a third of the volunteers take naps like these. The others either rest quietly or are awakened before entering REM sleep. Then everyone plays a new word game.
I was looking for a REM result for creativity. I definitely thought we'd be able to find it. I was surprised by the magnitude.
Those who had REM sleep scored 40% higher, but quiet rest or non-REM sleep produced no benefit whatsoever.
The reason why we think that REM sleep helps you with creativity is because REM sleep is a very active time in your brain. Sometimes your brain can even be more active than during waking, and you actually have these different areas of the brain that are speaking to each other. So it's actually able to start to free associate amongst its own ideas and memories.
Clearly, REM sleep can boost creativity. But do REM dreams have anything to do with it?
The dreams that we have during REM sleep, they're very wild, they're very fanciful, they're clearly the brain having a period of loose associations where you're able to put connections together between new and old ideas, finding new solutions to new problems.
This ability to harness the creative power of dreams is not just the preserve of genius. It seems that with a little REM sleep, many of us can also do it.
Just say to oneself, I want to dream about X tonight as you're drifting off to sleep. And in my research, I find that about 50% of people can do that if they just practice that for a brief period of time. And about half will get an answer that is really gratifying to whatever the issue is.
Of course, sometimes we get the dreams we least hope for. But these may be the most valuable ones of all.
It's dark outside, kind of raining, very, very scary, ominous. There's like this kind of spaceship.
With these huge chains was this big stone tablet all inscribed with hieroglyphics.
Suddenly, I jump off the bed. I want to run into my parents' bedroom. There's a long hallway I have to go through to get there. And then just at that moment, this hand and arm and body reaches for me. This is the giant made of shadows.
No doubt, such episodes are terrifying. But could it be we need them? Antti Revonso is convinced of it. He's a Finnish scientist who collects nightmares. He has concluded that many of the bad dreams we have today are the same as those experienced by our ancient ancestors.
Well, it's pretty certain that our ancestors did dream, because dreaming seems to be biologically programmed into our brain, and the brain that our ancestors had was pretty much identical with our brain. And we know that our ancestors lived in an environment which was full of all sorts of fatal dangers.
The same dangers, Revonso says, often show up in nightmares today, particularly in those of children.
There was one wolf